Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Rick Godley alongside Lawrence Gibbs. We're going to be talking about the Russ-Town Band. They're going to have a presentation of the Debonaires. Lawrence is going to talk about that. We are recording right now inside the Lincoln Parish Museum, and it is a beautiful place. We're in the process of Operation Reboot, to reboot and to start a second renaissance here at the Lincoln Parish Museum and Historical Society. So more information coming on that. In the meantime, we're going to be a source, a resource of all things local. ATL-Lincoln.com, ATL-Lincoln.com, because that's where we're going to be streaming the event we're going to be talking about. It is the Russ-Town Jazz and the Debonaires. So Lawrence, my friend, how are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Glad to be here. It's about 3 weeks after we did the one for the concert band a couple of weeks ago, I guess.
The 4th of July.
Absolutely, and we had a huge crowd. That was the 25th of June at Ruston High, and we had a huge crowd. It was a wonderful concert. Thank y'all all for going for that. But now our second event of the summer features our jazz band that is formed out of members of the full concert band, and we're just having a blast. I've been trying to do this concert since prior to COVID. When COVID hit, we kept having to delay it, and now I'll knock on anything. As soon as we can get everything going here, we're going to try to have this concert on July the 16th, Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock at Ruston High School Auditorium. We're going to have some great help from Rick and going and getting this online for us.
We'll stream that. Let's stop right there, since this is a historical. The Debonaires literally organically grown in Lincoln Parish, Louisiana Tech, and we'll have more history on that as we have a whole resource of Lawrence and the Debonaires. But touch on the origin of it. Okay. Who are the Debonaires? Why are they, and where'd they come from? When? It
really is a great story. In 1946, after World War II, people were coming back from their service. Many of the people that were coming to Tech were engineers or mechanical people, science people, but they were also brilliant musicians in their time. What they did is they might have been playing in an Army band or a Navy band or one of those things. Some of them were extremely good musicians. Well, they end up at Tech because of the engineering program, the Polytechnical Institute part of it, and just happy as a lark to be through what they had been through. So in 1946, there was a very strong music program going on at the time, and these gentlemen got together and decided that Ruston needed a little kick, let's say. And so they decided to form a group which was the rage at the time, was big band music.
Big bands.
It was at the absolute heyday right there. And so these guys were very familiar with the idiom, and so they wanted to do it through Louisiana Tech, but it just wasn't allowed during that time. They were told that they had to get this program on their own place, off campus, and that is exactly what they did. So Mac Hearn is one of the names that comes to my mind, Frank Wilson, Chick Ellis, and some other people that are names that some people out there that see this will instantly know were the backbone of that group.
So the Debonaires, 1946, a group of collegiates at Louisiana with a Polytechnical Institute at that time, I do think they were. Okay. And so they decided to get together just to continue to play, and they played together starting in 46 all the way through
1960. Now they.
What do you mean 1960?
Yeah,
it took 14 years to get a band together?
No, it existed. They started the nucleus in 46, and as people would graduate, they would fill in the spots with people. It became an organization that people had a waiting list to try to play for this bunch of musicians. Now, they traveled all over North Louisiana, on Highway 80 at the time. There was no interstate during that time. But the lucky thing is when
How many pieces?
It was 18.
18 pieces.
18 pieces. They had 2 vocalists and the full big band at that time. They were very, very successful. They played for anything and everything. How they ended up becoming a good band was in the fact they had 1 week practice sessions. I mean, 1 night a week practice sessions, excuse me. On Friday night, they had worked a deal out with the university that they could have what they called practice dances at the old Memorial Gym. Okay?
Enchantment Under the Sea. No, go ahead.
I tell you what, it became an instant hit. It was like having rehearsal performances, but
Right.
you
On
had
a
to
Friday
rehearse.
night at Memorial Gym.
And it would probably
Free.
go from 6 to 10 or something like that. Yeah, they just invited them in. Sometimes they would stop and start as they were learning, but it was their practice session. But it also made them really focus and learn their music very quickly because they were under the pressure of not wanting to be embarrassed in front of people, even if it was a practice session.
Well, and one of the mottos of the Debonaires, because I watched some of the videos, is you don't stop playing and grow old. You grow old because you stop playing. And so they
Exactly.
continued to play after
Yes.
that, and they played on into this century, and there's still a couple of Debonaires around. Will any Debonaires be on stage
Yes. Well,
Saturday,
well,
July 16th?
I don't know if they'll be on stage, but they'll be out
in the house.
audience.
Okay,
I've got
awesome.
Joe Caskey and his sweet wife Peggy, who was my first choral teacher in junior high school back in the 60s when I was a kid. She showed me how to enjoy being involved in music and what it could do. And she was their last vocalist, and Joe was the last leader of the class of around 60 when they were doing this. It was one of those things after Elvis and after when things started to change, they felt, all right, we've done this. We've got our careers to focus on. Most of them went on to great careers in not only music, but in science and in all of the other engineering aspects.
All right, so that's the origin, but the Renaissance came when they started to get back together, getting the band back together in the 90-ish.
Great story
90s.
here, great story.
But hold that thought, because we want to tell folks Saturday, July 16th, Ruston High School Auditorium. It will be streamed, as I'll be streaming live, so bookmark atl-lincoln.com, atl-lincoln.com, and we're going to have multiple platforms for you as well, so we'll keep you informed on that. Just email me. How do you get linked in? Because this is going to be going out all over online, and so that will, but come to the Ruston High School. Again, it's free. The Debonaires, it's a salute. Lawrence Gibbs, it's been I want to say a passion, vision of yours.
Exactly, yes.
And then now it's coming to manifestation, the music of Glenn Miller, Duke Ellington, Benny Goodman, and so much more. So before let's lead the first Renaissance for people, because we'll have history.
Sure.
Talk about the program coming up and who's going to be the conductors, because right now the Russ-Town Band's in a time of transition. And so you're sharing the stage, the mic with others, and the band.
Sure.
What can we expect this day?
I'm going to be over the Russ-Town Jazz Band by myself.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I'm using the Debonaires as the model for this group. When they finally retired in 2005 and had their last reunion, they asked me to guide them through that, prepare the group, make sure they had a fantastic last dance, is what they called it.
In 2005.
In 2005. They had gotten together in 1991-ish, somewhere around there. They had their first reunion. Some of them just happened to run into each other at airports and things. Hey, let's get together and start having reunions. Mac Hearn was involved. They got all of the people that they could find, and there were many. So they had a reunion at LSU because that's where Mac lived, and it was a great reunion, but they felt they wanted to have it back on campus where they went through all of the great memories.
In 2005, the last reunion was held where?
On campus here at Louisiana Tech. The thing was, they had a format with all of their stuff. In 1991, when they started deciding to have their reunions here on campus, it was either 91 or 92. I had been hired in 1989 at Tech, and I was here during the summer in town. I was asked if I would be the host. They needed to have a faculty host, and during the summertime.
Is this the Debonaire connection?
This is the Debonaire connection.
Okay.
But so most of these men, other than Mac and a few others, did not know who I was. I knew who they were from working with Oscar Barnes and things like that. I quickly found out that I had a connection through my name. My name being Lawrence Gibbs, and they knew a man named LG, the old left-hander from 1940, in 48 or so, I guess, when they were involved in doing their booking. And my father was a radio personality at KMLB back in that day. And he also booked big bands because he had a great appreciation for that music, and that was his thing, let's say. So anyway, these guys, when they saw who I was, they felt like they had a friend that would take care of them, and I surely did that. Just most of the time, early on, I just watched and was amazed how these gentlemen would come in here, many of them in their mid-70s even at that time, and they would rehearse Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then Saturday night they would have a 4-hour dance in the Tonk. It would go from like 6 to 10. People would pack the house. It was all free. It was just an amazing event.
1991?
Started 92, I think.
Okay, 92. Every
but
year?
But it was always every year.
Oh, really?
Every year, from 1992 to 2005.
So yeah, that's the first Renaissance, and that's when the Salute to the Debonaires. Lawrence has a whole bunch of information. We're going to do our best to get that loaded up on YouTube of the history and performances and rehearsals of the Debonaires in years past. This will be totally free, 3 p.m. Saturday, July 16th, the Debonaires. And a little brief on the program.
Yes, we're going to be doing, I based this concert on some of their favorite numbers that they performed at that last dance. And when they decided to disband, they came to me and they gave me everything that they had. They gave me their library, huge books of library that they had collected. They gave me their music stands, which will be on the stage. And it was just an honor, and it always will be. But we're going to play. Their theme song was the old Smoke Rings that went all the way back to the Casa Loma Orchestra, and only a few people will know what that is. Then we would do Duke Ellington. We did Glenn Miller. We will have a vocalist, Joanne Davis, the wife of our first lead tenor and our professor of clarinet, Trevor Davis. Dr. Trevor Davis is our vocalist. She's going to sing Almost Like Being in Love and Georgia on My Mind as a wonderful part of this program. Those were two of Jane Hill's, Jane Ledbetter, I guess, who recently passed, but that was two of her favorite songs, and she sang it at that concert. So we're going to do those.
So you're saying this, it's almost hitting me like this is a Debonaire experience reenactment. So you are reenactors.
We're starting there.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're starting there.
It's going to be awesome.
And I expect, we have worked really, really hard, and the thing is, we finally got to rehearse this summer. So we've had we've had 2 rehearsals. We have one more rehearsal, and we will be ready for our Saturday afternoon matinee.
Sure enough. 3 p.m. Ruston High School auditorium, totally chilled place, literally chilled place.
Yes.
Ice cold, so for the experience there, or we will be streaming this, so help us help more. Tell others about the streaming experience that's going to happen with the Russ-Town Band's Salute to the Debonaires. Lawrence Gibbs conducting and leading. And by the way, the Russ-Town Band is a totally volunteer organization.
Yes.
And so the Salute to the Debonaires, but we'll be streaming atl-ruston.com, atl-lincoln.com. That's all things local Lincoln. And check us out on Facebook, as we are here at the Lincoln Parish Museum and Historical Society building, the Kid Davis House, 609 North Vienna in Ruston. Operation Reboot underway to get life back into the house and the communities back into this house, because next year is the Sesquicentennial, the 150th anniversary of Lincoln Parish. We want to be the epicenter of ATL, all things Lincoln. And one of the things we'll tease with no commitments, Lawrence, is having a jazz concert in the backyard at some cooler evening.
It will be something we can strive for, yes.
We'll just throw it out there. And so there's so many opportunities, and that's why I bring that up, open to all sorts of creative ideas for this place and space. Lawrence Gibbs, thanks so much, my friend.
Thank you
for all that you do.
Oh, thank you for all you do. And we just keep on keeping on, getting Ruston. We'll get through all this stuff, and we'll, once on the other side.
We're getting through it.
Once on the other side, just watch out.
Sure enough, sure enough. I'm Rick Godley, and we'll stream you later.